this is harder than I thought it would be. Hey BookTube, it's Lori. Welcome back to my channel, Books, Ink, and Paper. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I have had a bit of a break. It is the end of January, beginning of February, and so the first thing I am doing is working on my TBR. And in order to create my February TBR, I am going through, as you know, if you've watched my channel before, I'm going through a very intentional edition of some books that I hauled last year, as well as some reviews, ARC copies of books that I need to read, as well as looking at some other lists. So take a look at that video. I'll link it in the comments below. But for today, we're going to look back at my February 2019 book haul, see what I've read in that time, and then I'm going to choose one book from last February, at least one book, to put on my TBR for this February, so that at the end of the year, I will have gone through my backlist more intentionally than I feel like I did last year. And I just really want to read the books that I purchased, because I purchased them because I wanted them. So let's get started. The first book I hauled in February last year was a gift from my friend Sarah Swan from Sarah's Nightstand. It is this copy, this great Penguin classic. Penguin in Bloom is what they call this one. It's a great size. It's nice and thick, and I love it. It's beautiful. Now, I've read Little Women multiple times, and I do want to reread it because I just did go to the movie adaptation, the most recent movie adaptation, and loved it. My favorite one, hands down. But I'm probably not going to put this to the top of the list to read in February, because I'm rereading some other things at the same, right now. But I might find that I'm so enamored with the movie, and I can't stop thinking about it, that I want to take a look again and just kind of compare the choices that they made. But this one stayed really true to her intention in writing this novel, as well as it stayed pretty true to the book. So I love that copy. I just probably won't choose that one this month. Another book I acquired was Atomic Habits by James Clear last February. I work on a team for a coach training company, and one of my team members sent it to all of us, and I started it. My problem with it isn't that it's not great. My problem with it is I want to take notes all along and highlight in it. And so I have done, but not been able to finish it. Then I started listening to it on audio, and that didn't work because I'd be in my car and I'd want to write notes and do things. And yeah, can't do that when you're driving. Shouldn't do it anyway. So I'm committed to finishing James Clear. The question is, do I want to pick it up again this month? I acquired Strange Magic by Sid Moore. I was watching The Big-Haired Bookworm. She had read it. It's the first in a series, the Essex, I think it's the Essex Witch Museum Mystery Series, and I haven't read this. My partner read it. I have not. So that's a possibility. I also picked up book 2 of the Sidney Chambers Grantchester Mysteries series. I had gotten book 1 in January, and I found book 2 at a really great price on, I think, Book Depository, and the same, series covers look the same. It's a possibility for February. I am not finished with the first one, and I'm having a little trouble. It's not that it's not good. It's just not sort of pulling me in as quickly as I'd like. So I may not finish the first one in January. So that's something to consider. And these are actually it's a murder mystery, a vicar that solves crimes in this little community where he lives, Grantchester. The Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I bought at a local bookstore. They had moved locations last year, and I wanted to go in and support the move and, just celebrate the hard work that went into moving. And I picked this up. It was their monthly book club, mystery book club pick for March. I don't think I finished it in March. I know I didn't finish it and go to the book club meeting, but I did finish it. I did absolutely finish it. And I did a combination of reading and listening on audio, and I loved it. Loved it. So that one I did finish. Okay, I bought Adriatic Allure by Jane Golden. It is an international mystery, as you can probably see. It's set in Romania. And I met Jane at the library authors and characters event. I did a video on that as well. I'll post that in the links in the description box below. Post a link to it. I haven't read this, and it's not very big. It does have kind of small print, but it's not very big. So that's a possibility. I got a lot of mysteries last year in February. Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, which is the pen name for J.K. Rowling, is the first in her detective series around Cormoran Strike. It's such a weird name. I can't ever remember if I'm saying that right. Cormoran Strike. Another murder mystery, detective procedural. I know a lot of people really like these, and some people really don't. But that's, again, another murder mystery. I also acquired Little Darlings in February by Melanie Golding. It was an advanced reader's copy that was sent to me, and I read it and really liked it. And then I actually, for Valentine's Day, got Once Upon a River by Diane Satterfield. And I forgot to haul this last February, but I remembered that I did get it in February. And I read it and also loved it. So 3 of the books that I acquired last February, I absolutely adored when I read them. Locked On, I don't have it with me, the physical copy I got. It's by Mark Greaney, and it is a Tom Clancy novel written by Mark Greaney. So his estate has given permission for additional Tom Clancy titles to be released and written by other authors because he died. I got it for my blind date with a book at the library last year, and it's a very big book. And the reason I don't have it right now is because it's in my shed. When we put the house up for sale, Lisa took a number of larger books and we weren't fitting all the books in the bookcase, and we weren't planning on building the built-ins because we thought we were going to sell the house, and we didn't, and we've taken it off the market. So now we are probably building the built-ins this year, but there are still some boxes of books in the shed that are not on the shelves just to leave room for them. And I don't think I want to, I can tell you right now, I don't think I want to begin Locked On because it really is at least that thick. I remember it being a lot of pages, and I probably am not in the mood for a Tom Clancy this month. So that's what I have to choose from. And again, a lot of murder mysteries, and I've read a few this month too. So the question is, what am I really, really excited about reading the most? And actually, sadly, none of these are like standing out over another. Like, I guess it's not that I don't want to read any of them. It's like I want to sort of read all of them. I have an equal desire to read all of them. So it's hard for me to pick which one I would choose. So I think I am going to pick Atomic Habits back up. I have a couple of others that I want to get finished before that, but I think I could pick it back up and maybe not finish it in February, but I do want to finish it. Some podcasts lately where he was interviewed. It's a new take on creating a habit, but not terribly new. I mean, it's nothing like earth-shatteringly new, but it is an extension, I would say, of some other people's work that has come out in the last few years, and I think there's some applicable opportunities for me there. One of the habits I'm not in at the moment that I have been in the past, and I've fallen out of that habit, is exercise, walking, running, going to the gym, working on the weight machines, those kinds of things. So I clearly need to do that soon. So I may pick that up. So that's not a may. Let's just commit. I'm going to pick Atomic Habits back up and read it. I'm not going to pick up Sidney Chambers because while I do think I'll finish the first one, I'm not really ready to go. It's not like they're pretty like resolved book by book, so it's not something that I'll have to sort of find out what happens next. Let me read this. It's been a little over a year since Jenny abandoned her career as an attorney outside New Orleans to accompany her husband, Zach, to Romania. While he's been settling into his new role as a diplomat with the Department of Justice, she's been embracing all the excitement and fun of being a new American expat in Europe, but all of that is about to change when her impulsive college-age niece, Candy, unexpectedly comes to stay with them. And then she disappears, and a young woman is found dead in a neighboring park. And then Jenny boards a yacht in the Adriatic in the middle of Yacht Week to delve into the seemingly sinister disappearance while following sketchy clues. 223. I do look at that because I have other books I want to read this month. Cuckoo's Calling, 450 pages. After losing his leg to a landmine in Afghanistan, Corman Strike is barely scraping by as a private investigator. Then John Bristow walks in with a story. His sister famously fell to her death a few months earlier. The police ruled it a suicide, but John refuses to believe that. Plunges Strike into the world of multimillionaire beauties, rock star boyfriends, and desperate designers. Introduces him to every variety of pleasure, enticement, seduction, and delusion known to man. And then the Essex Strange Magic, Essex Witch Museum Mystery. Rosie Strange doesn't believe in witches. No, not at all. It's no surprise when she inherits the ramshackle Essex Witch Museum. Her first thought is to take the money and run. Still, the museum exerts a curious pull. There's the eccentric academic who demands Rosie hunt for old bones, those of the notorious Ursula Cadence, a witch long since put to death, and there's curator Sam Stone, a man Rosie can't decide if he's tiresomely annoying or extremely captivating. Her plans to sell the museum might need to be delayed just for a while. Then to her horror, the secrets of the past come with their own real and all-too-present danger as a strange magic threatens to envelop them all. So that didn't help. I'm going to go with Cuckoo's Calling. I almost tossed a coin. I'm going to go with Cuckoo's Calling, and I am going to take this back up. So I'll leave that out of my cabinet, and I will put this on my February TBR. And while it is a little bit longer, I will say that I've enjoyed everything that J.K. Rowling has ever written, and so I have no concern about whether I'll enjoy this. I think I've got it. Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith and Atomic Habits by James Clear. And if I'm in the mood, I might reread Little Women. I've never listened to Little Women either, and that is something that I'm curious about, to see who reads those versions and how that might be a way of fitting it in while I'm reading everything else that I want to read in February. Okay, thanks for joining me and sitting through my dilemma. You may have been screaming, read this, read this, read this. So if that's true, you may be interested in one of these books or have read them before, and I'd love to know if that is your experience, and what you would have picked would be fun for me to know too, or what you think I should pick next after I read these two books, and maybe three. I appreciate all of you. I love your comments, and I have some new subscribers, which is grand. I would love it if this is your first time here, if you would take a look around. I have lots of playlists. I need to do some cleanup on those because when I was looking for book haul playlists, I realized I don't have one for every month, and I'm certain that I hauled books every month of last year. So I'm going to clean that up a little bit, get things organized, but I'd love it if you would subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bell at the top of the page to notify you every time there's a new video. Comment, share, give it a thumbs up. And as always, happy reading. Bye.